back, everyone. Well, the agriculture industry has been a staple to Yuma County for many years, and so has the organization Yuma County Farm Bureau, committed to keeping a steady force with a lasting impact. In the next few weeks, we will be taking a look at the last 100 years of agriculture in celebration of the Yuma County Farm Bureau Centennial. In these exclusive pieces, Back to Ag Roots, I'll be talking to local farmers about the past 100 years of Yuma's agriculture, their present endeavors, and looking towards the future of farming. Even before the well-known Yuma County farmers, there were indigenous farmers that, according to the Arizona Department of Agriculture, predate Arizona's statehood by several hundred years, with some areas going back centuries. These indigenous farmers were the start of something big for Yuma County. For example, January 8th, 1920 was the day that the Yuma County Farm Bureau was established, a grassroots organization made by farmers for farmers.
There's a whole long litany of things that have been done to make Yuma agriculture so strong. One of those has been the foundation of Yuma County Farm Bureau, because you needed a platform in which growers could come together.
The Yuma County Farm Bureau was a county-wide advocate for farmers through the good times and bad.
It was simply because the farmers realized that there was a need for some unity.
In addition to meeting within Yuma County, representatives of the Farm Bureau had the responsibility to fight for farmers in Washington.
These weren't professional lobbyists that went back to Washington. These were just everyday farmers who saw the need and stepped out and did it.
County farm bureaus had existed during this time, but were mainly about educating the farmer, not necessarily impacting farm policy.
Many times, ideas that have been brought up and thought about here in Yuma have ended up being on the national level and have made a big impact on American agriculture.
It wasn't until after American farmers and ranchers played a critical role in winning World War I that farmers realized they needed a unified voice.
Being a farmer is who we are, what we are. It's the way of life for us.
That's when the American Farm Bureau took the lead in drafting the Agricultural Adjustment Act of 1933, the first piece of New Deal legislation. Most recently, in 2016, President Obama signed a genetically modified organisms labeling law supported by the Farm Bureau in hopes to decrease consumer confusion on GMOs. A major benefit to the Farm Bureau since its beginning was the chance for farmers to come together to discuss their ideas when it comes to agriculture production.
Being a part of Farm Bureau, the associations and the people that I have met through Farm Bureau, the friends that I have in Farm Bureau, you can't beat that.
These ideas have been a big factor to Yuma's role as the winter vegetable capital of the nation.
And many of the things that have become so efficient in much of the world were tried and tested here in Yuma. The way we irrigate, the way we level our fields, moving from leveling the fields with a great stick to using the laser, and then eventually moving on to GPS.
Over the last 100 years, Yuma farmers have rapidly adjusted to the latest production technologies.
There has been so many accomplishments that have been done in Yuma. I credit a lot of that to the leadership and the strength of the growers and farmers and landowners that have been in Yuma for the last 100 years.
100 years ago, Herbert Hoover, then the head of the U.S. Food Administration, is quoted as saying, "Who speaks for agriculture anyhow?" Well, when you look to the Yuma County Farm Bureau, you see generations of growers who speak with one voice, focused on the sustainability of food for Yuma, the state of Arizona, and the world. Well, all in all, the Yuma County Farm Bureau has played a major role in fighting for farmers, whether it be at the Farm Bureau office during a meeting or voting on state-level issues in Washington. Stay tuned. Next week, we'll be talking to an educator within the ag industry to learn about the importance of continued education when it comes to farming.